talking about celebrations we always talk about celebrations, right? Because this is good news. But it occurred to me that not a lot of people celebrate themselves, let alone celebrating at all. And I just think that's important. I mean, obviously, we're talking about good news, so that's what we do, right? But to celebrate yourself, I think is one of those things that's just important to being able to celebrate others. When we don't celebrate ourselves, we just kind of miss out on the goodness of life, you know? Like it's a miracle any of us actually are born into life, right? So that's accomplishment all its own. But then to be able to be healthy enough to accomplish anything, no matter what that looks like, I think is something that deserves to be celebrated. So I want to know, how are you celebrating yourself this month or this year even? What are you doing to celebrate? Send me an email to news25 at week.com and let me know how you are celebrating yourself this month. I would love to know that. Remember to put Hey Shauna, that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I do know it's for me. And don't forget, you can also follow us at 25 News Good News Only on Facebook, and you can send me your messages there and let me know how you are going to celebrate yourself this month. We've got a lot of good stuff. It's a lot going on today in the studio. Everything is up, everything is fine. Okay, all right. So we've got no mute. Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me. You can hear me out there? Okay. So we've got a lot to celebrate on today's show, speaking of celebrations. So we're going to talk about some new developments that are happening for businesses locally here in Peoria, for one. And then we're going to talk about what's happening in Bloomington and the future of one of their most historic parks. That's a reason to celebrate. We'll talk about all that after the break. We're also going to be talking about some encouraging things that are happening for Tazewell County residents and their health department. So that's going to be fun and interesting. We've got a lot of local news, and that's always a good sign that there are good things happening all around us at all times. And we're going to be talking about an old school game that is making a comeback. Now, I've never played this game, but I would be interested to know if you've ever played this game and if you remember the movie it's associated with. We'll talk about all of that and more after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. So, a new project is taking shape around Galena Road. I thought you might like to hear about it. So, City Council, the city and county leaders are pushing plans for a 50 plus acre business district along Route 29 between Gardner Lane and Coach Road. So, the proposal would rezone the area from residential to industrial, clearing the way for future development. The Planning and Zoning Commission unanimously recommended approval, moving the plan forward. So leaders say building streets, sidewalks, storm sewers, and utilities could cost around 12 to 15 million dollars. So the officials are now working to secure state and federal funding to help cover those costs. If the building comes through, construction could begin within a year to a year and a half. So Peoria City Council votes are expected this week, but they actually were postponed due to the weather-related cancellations. So hopefully they will be able to get back on track with that. But I think that is fabulous news for all of you business owners out there. This is a great opportunity even for small business owners to get in on this district. And in Bloomington, there's also a project called the Penguin Project that is underway. Bloomington residents are getting together or getting another chance to help shape the future of one of the city's most historic parks. So the Park and Recreations Department is launching Phase 2 of Miller Park Master Plan. So Phase 1 gathered big picture feedback about what residents value the most in the park. So that's great. Now the city wants input on specific improvements and amenities. That's awesome. This will include ideas for playgrounds, sports areas, accessibility upgrades, and other recreational features. So leaders are also working to balance new development with preserving Miller Park's historic character. The community survey will remain open through mid-April, so get your opinions and your voices heard on this. Feedback from residents will directly influence the final master plan and future upgrades. So that is exciting news, especially for those who have some ideas. This is your chance, like I said earlier, to have your voice heard, share your ideas. So be sure and do that. They are asking for that, so it's welcome. And then in Tazewell County, thought you should know about this. The health department is encouraging residents to check their water during National Groundwater Awareness Week. Did you know that this week was National Groundwater Awareness Week? So officials are handing out free leak testing kits to help homeowners evaluate their systems. Most homes in the county rely on groundwater sources like private wells, and so health officials warn untreated well water can contain harmful contaminants such as arsenic or nitrates. So you want to test your water with those resources. Regular testing helps protect families from potentially serious illnesses. Residents are also urged to check toilets for hidden leaks, which can waste water and cause expensive damage. The department says simple tests can now prevent costly repairs and health risk later. So definitely you want to get in on that. It's again another opportunity to work with the city and to prevent any costly damage, whether it be monetary or in your health. Those things are very, very, very important. And then switching gears to a grocery store that's hit a major milestone. This is in more good news. This is our national good news segment. So the grocery store hit this milestone. It's a small grocery store, and they have a program. This grocery store is located in Iowa, and they've reached over 1,000 meals where they fill these bags here. You see those bags? They fill those bags with one meal for families who are in need. And so each bag contains ingredients for a full meal. It's not just something small, it's a full meal. It's not just snacks. The milestone was reached thanks to a retired doctor who you saw in the first shot. His name is Dr. Ken, and he brought the entire rack of 32 food bags for nearly $400. Can you believe that? And so Dr. Ken also donated the $100 gift card he received back from participating in the program. And these ladies were definitely touched. They were so moved by the fact that he would do such a thing. Not only that he would buy all of those food bags, but that, I mean, he just walked in off the street and said, "How much?" And they told him how much, and he said, "I'll take them all." And so they were moved by that. But then when they said, "Well, you've earned a $100 gift card for doing that," he said, I don't need the $100 gift card. Give that to them too, whoever you're donating the food to." So they were so moved by that. In fact, you could see them in the story. If you watched our television newscast today, you could see in this story that these ladies were physically shaken up. They were so moved by what he's done. And he said something very interesting, to me at least. He said that giving back just makes you feel good. And I thought, and I always say that it does something to you, for you, when you give to others. But he said it was fun. He framed it that way. He said it's fun because it makes you feel good to give to others. And so I want to know this: how do you feel when you give? You know, some people have a sense of satisfaction. Some people have a sense of just pride in themselves for remembering others. How do you feel when you give to others? Send me an email to news25week.com, and remember to put "Hey Shauna," that's SHAUNA, in the subject line so I know it's for me. Then also you can respond to this question: how does it make you feel to give to others, on Facebook at 25 News Good News Only. How does it make you feel to give to others? I know I always feel, I know for some reason, I always feel a sense of relief. Like I've done something to bring goodness to the world. Like I've done my part in a way to bring goodness into the world. So let me know how you feel. So store staff say the generous gesture was emotional and that they hope it inspires others to keep the program going. I think that this is absolutely cool. First of all, I've heard of more and more businesses, like be it restaurants or grocery stores, donating, like making packages. Like there was a restaurant we talked about not too long ago, during the government shutdown, the first one, where restaurants would allow their patrons to buy extra meals, and then they would tape those or tack those receipts up on the wall. And then if you wanted to donate a meal to someone who was in need, then you'd simply go over and pull one of those receipts off the wall, or the person who was in need would be able to come over, pull one of those receipts off the wall, and then take it to the cashier in exchange for a meal. And people were buying those up, like they had begun to be run a little dry on those receipts. But once the government shutdown happened, people wanted to really give back and make sure everybody had enough, had what they needed. And so there was just a surge of receipts, which meant there were a surge of meals bought for people that ended up on that wall again. And it's always interesting to see what comes out of hardships, right? Like what government shutdown, everybody is strapped for cash and just essentials, and people showed up. That was something that was very encouraging to see during that time. And so after the break, we are going to talk about that game I mentioned to you earlier, and then we're going to talk about a interesting rescue. It's a very interesting rescue of a dog on a waterfall. So we'll have more good news only after the break. So if I have car trouble and I'm on the way to work or leaving work, I typically call him first. Okay. But he's the one that helped me out originally when my car was stuck on the side of the road. Yeah, everyone will let him sit there in the dark. That AKA Triple H takes me out every single time. Nice to meet you. You too, sir. Have a good. I just washed my hands. I am sorry. I don't think my videos are playing. You have a lovely daughter. You well know. Well, at one, I thought they were playing. They're not. Okay, well, no, it's playing now. Okay, sorry, because I was the other news thing that's always up was just on. I think something's wrong. Not today, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. I just looked over and noticed that something else was playing.
Stand by, everybody. Stand by.
Yep, this is why I end up putting it on mute. It's on mute.
Sorry.
Okay. Welcome back to more Good News Only. So, there's a popular game that is making a comeback, and it's called Mahjong. So, a centuries old game is making a surprising comeback across the country. Mahjong, which dates back to the 1800s, is seeing a surge in popularity among longtime fans and newcomers. So, many players say that the tile based game provides a fun way to challenge the brain. I love games that challenge the brain, love it. So some enthusiasts also point to potential cognitive benefits and social interaction, which we just learned in this morning's 9 a.m. Broadcast, television broadcast, that 20-year-old students, people who are, sorry, I shouldn't say students because not everybody who's 20 is a student, but people who are in their 20s are more isolated than generations past. And it's a very interesting concept, but this is an opportunity in the resurgence of this game for social interaction, which is really good. Libraries and community centers are seeing new players join weekly games. And I wonder if one of our local libraries have a program where you can come and play games each week, especially this one. You should look into it. It's definitely something that I think would be fun to do. Maybe I'll look into it and let you know. So veteran players say that while the game can be intimidating at first, sticking with it makes it incredibly rewarding. They say the way that you play is you have to look at a list or a group of strategies for winning and then try to find which strategy would be the winning strategy, if that makes sense. So I think this is pretty cool. And apparently, the game gained popularity or resurgence in popularity during the release of the Joy Luck Club. I did not know that this was this game. I don't think I've seen that movie, but I didn't know that. I've heard of it. I don't believe I've seen it. Out of all the movies I've seen, I don't believe I've seen that one. But apparently, this was the game that they were playing in that movie. So that's really cool. Do you remember? Have you ever seen the Joy Luck Club? Send me an email, news25week.com, and let me know if you've seen that movie. I don't believe I've ever seen it, but this game was a part of that. So very cool. And then look at this. So, firefighters rescued a dog from a waterfall. Firefighters in New York carried out a challenge to rescue and save this little stranded puppy. The puppy's 14-month-old Rudy, and Rudy fell about 15 feet and landed on a small rock ledge near the waterfall. Bless her little heart. So crews brought rope, rescue gear, and positioned responders downstream in case the dog slipped into the water. Look, it's so grateful to be rescued. Such a sweet looking dog. One firefighter was also lowered down the cliff to reach the pup. So as soon as he got close, Rudy jumped straight into the rescuer's lap, and the pair were lifted to safety. Back at the top of the cliff, and Rudy was reunited with her relieved owner. So, congratulations to Little Ruby, and thank you to these firefighters and all of our public servants for all of the work that you do in many ways that you keep us safe and healthy. We'll have more good news only after the break. Welcome back to Good News Only. Well, that is a wrap for me today. Now I want to hear from you. Please go to news25 at week.com and let me know what you thought about today's show. Remember to put SHAUNA in the subject line so I know it's for me. And you can also let me know what you thought about today's show on Facebook at 25 News Good News only. I am Lashana Guy for 25 News. Make sure that you catch the midday newscast that's coming right up on television at 11. And I will see you again today at 1 p.m. I'm Lashana Guy for 25 News. Have a wonderful day.